Everybody, this is Eric from the Baltimore SharePoint Users Group. Today we're going to be doing Volume 2 of our Just Getting Started series on Moss. We're going to be setting up a sub-site and attaching an InfoPath form to that site. If you'd like to check out more tutorials, you can stop by baltimoresug.org and have a look, see what we have going on over there. As you can see, this is where we left off from our standalone server setup. We're going to go ahead and get started here and go to Site Actions. In Site Actions, we're going to go ahead and create a new site. Alright, we're going to name this site. Scenario setup behind this would be a team site collaboration for a new project that's going out. So let's go ahead and name it Collaboration and name that the same. We don't necessarily need a description. We're going to go ahead and keep it a team site, keep it simple here. The options below are going to allow you to put those into a site directory, which we don't really need to do for this scenario. Go ahead and hit create. Okay, we have our new subsite called Collab. What we're going to do now is go into Site Actions, and we're going to hit create. What we're going to do now is create a form library. A form library, the only difference between that and a document library is the fact that you can bind a InfoPath form template to the form library, and every time someone goes there, they'll be served up only that form, which is different from a document library because in a document library you can upload whatever type of file you want. So we'll go ahead and name this InfoPath. And we'll go through here. We don't really need a description for this point either. Um, in the drop-down, you're only going to be allowed to select Microsoft Office InfoPath form. So just go ahead and hit create. Okay, now we have our form library. Let's go ahead and go up into settings and go to form library settings. This is going to give us all of our settings of the list that we just created. Alright, the first thing we want to do is go ahead and go to advanced settings. And what we're doing now is setting up the form library to accept our InfoPath form and then serve it up as a web page instead of the client application. If you set it up as a client application, the user on the other end has to have InfoPath in order to serve up that form. So go ahead down here to the third section and click Display as Web Page. That's basically all you have to do for this section. Just go ahead and hit OK. Okay, now we're pretty much set. So let's go back here from the breadcrumbs, go to InfoPath, which is basically a list view of our form library. On the other hand, we're going to go ahead and stand up InfoPath here. I've got it open, and we're going to use a template for this model just to keep it short and sweet. We're going to use a status report model. I'm going to go ahead and double click that. Now there's a few steps you need to do to actually prep the form to live on SharePoint and as well as live as a web page that's being served up from SharePoint. So I'm going to walk you through those steps now. Go ahead and go up to Tools, and under Tools you're going to want to go to Form Options. Okay, the first one we want to go to is going to be Compatibility. And this form we want to make sure is checked that it can be opened in a browser or an InfoPath. So that's basically what we need to do there. That's the most important thing. Just to kind of browse through, you can change what buttons you want to have, how it gets opened or saved, if it can be viewed offline, email attachments, what columns are actually going to be displayed when it gets submitted to InfoPath, whether or not you want to allow digital signatures. However, using it from the from the browser-enabled view, it's not going to accept digital signatures, so we're going to have to skip past that. Security and trust, you can set it up with a certificate. Previewing doesn't really apply to this. InfoPath is basically an XML document, so you can have basically any type of code, Visual Basic or C# behind it if you like. Versioning, compatibility, which we've already gone over, and some advanced features, but we're not going to talk about that yet. Okay, so what we're going to do now is pretty much nothing to the form. We're going to keep it as is from the template to keep this moving. Basically, the standard behind it, a status report for an individual team member, where they're at on the project, what they plan to do, reporting date, manager name, department, things like that. What we're going to do is go up to Tools and Submit Options. We're going to allow this form to be submitted, and how we're going to do that is via a SharePoint document library. Now, there's a little bit of contradictory of terms here. SharePoint document library is the only selection that you have. However, it applies to a form library because a form library is essentially a document library. Next step, we're going to go ahead and hit Add, and it's going to want our URL of our form library. So we're going to jump back over here to our form, to our MOS setup, and we're going to copy our URL up here at the top. Just makes it a little bit easier than typing it out. Go ahead and paste over here, and we're going to get rid of the allitems.aspx only because it'll throw you an error at the end and it just will annoy you. In the form section, we want to go ahead over here and click FX, and that's going to give us a formula section where we can insert fields or groups, functions, and things like that. So we want to name this the name of the person that submitted it. Prepared by, hit OK, and OK again. So as the file name changes, it's going to be prepared by instead of the standard quote-unquote form. If this exists, we're going to go ahead and overwrite it. This might not be the best scenario for you. You might just have to keep it there and append a new status report as you go. If that's the case, you're going to want to add something else here that's going to give it a unique number or an ID so that it doesn't automatically conflict with a previous form that's been submitted. I'm going to go ahead and hit Next. This is just naming our submit button or our submit function. We're going to keep it the same as main submit. And we're going to do some advanced features here where we want the form to close after it's been submitted. Once that's done, it'll actually jump back to the SharePoint library. Okay, so we're all set on there. Last thing we have to do is go over here to publish. In my opinion, this is the easiest way to publish a form to SharePoint. There's another way through central administration where you can upload a template and then apply that template to a specific form library, but this takes too many steps, and I find this to be much easier. I'm going to go ahead and push publish form template. It's prompting me to save, so we're going to go ahead and save real quick. Now the options are publishing it to a SharePoint server, to an email recipient, network location, or some other Visual Studio things. We're going to go ahead and submit it to a SharePoint server. Hit Next, and we're going to paste in here our URL again and get rid of allitems.aspx. Go ahead and hit Next, and it's going to do a lot of the work here. It's going to jump over and ask us what types of columns we want to submit. What we have to do now is make sure that enable this form to be filled out by using a browser is checked. Now that's 3 places. We've checked it in the form library settings, we've checked it in the browser options, and now we're checking it one last time here in the publishing wizard. So we're going to go ahead and make sure that's checked, and we're going to submit it to a document library. Go ahead and hit Next, and we're going to update a form template in an existing document library, and we've already set up our InfoPath form library, so we're going to make sure that's checked and hit Next. These are the columns that are going to be submitted back to the form library. They're going to be shown up on the top. As long as we know that prepared by is in there and we're going to be sorted by that, we're good to go. So we're going to go ahead and hit Next again. This is the last step, just verifying where you want to put it, the names, things like that. We're going to go ahead and hit Publish. Okay, we're going to go ahead and hit Close. And we're going to jump back over here to our InfoPath form library, and we're going to hit Refresh. Okay, we've refreshed. Now we're going to hit New. That should serve us up our form in a browser. And there we go. That's serving up InfoPath forms within Form Library in Microsoft Office SharePoint Server.